All right, good morning, good afternoon, actually. It's 12:30 on a Sunday afternoon here. I'm in the Bella Vista neighborhood. Anyway, number 8 in your scorecard, number 1 in your heart, Albert Sugar Bear Barbieri. Want to sit down and be on Facebook Live with me? I'm doing a video. Sit there. You got anything you want to say to the public? I got maybe a little more friends than you. I got Georgie Martorano. He just was walking by. How you doing, George?
Still struggling.
Still struggling, George? Well,
No, recently I got some real good news. I'm ready to sign a movie contract. I got it in the mail this past week. Naturally, I'm doing revisions with my attorneys, but it looks good. It's going to be eight-part series. We don't know if it's going to be on Netflix or Hulu right now, and there'll be 6 episodes per series. So that's 48 shows. Like I said, it's in its infancy now, but it's going to go. We don't know if we're going to do 30-minute episodes or 60 minutes. We just don't know yet. We just got to hope it's a hit, because people don't understand when something's a hit. There's a lot of jobs involved.
A lot of jobs.
People, you know how many people were attached to The Sopranos?
Tons.
Well, you know what it cost Sopranos to shoot a year? $250 million.
$250 million.
Right. So these shows are not cheap. So how you been?
Now, George, we never met or were introduced formally. I think, not that I'm anybody, but I don't know if
everybody's somebody.
You know my name? Do you know my name?
Chris.
No. My name's Albert.
Albert.
I'm longtime friends with the Santors.
Right.
Okay, Bobby, Mark, and Frankie.
Good people. They're good people. Yeah. They're like family to me.
Well, they're my family, actually.
Yeah.
But Bobby's my best friend of 47 years.
Okay.
So we've seen each other in the neighborhood. Obviously, I know your nephew, Stevie. I went to high school with Stevie.
Stevie,
Okay. Yeah. So I know your legacy.
Yeah, he's opening up in October, River Casino. He's opening up.
Is he?
Martorano's Prime.
How about
it's a steakhouse.
He's
but high-end steakhouse.
He's something, Stevie. Anyway, how old are you these days?
72.
72. Wow.
Hey,
you look very
good. Great Dane dies at 10. A tortoise lives to 120. So what's age? What's age?
Age is nothing, really.
Nothing. Right. So,
now, anything you want? I know you have what's your store? Do you have?
Well, the Hip Hemp Cafe's on South 7th Street. I gave that to my daughter a while back.
Did you?
Yeah, she does well with it.
Oh, okay.
I brand in the cannabis industry. I'll be, matter of fact, I just got licensed in Jersey for growing and manufacturing, and then I'll be applying in New York. Right. It's the only thing good about being all that time in prison for weed. These states, if you've been punished for it, and you are a nonviolent first offender, you get all the licensings for free, which saves you an awful lot of money.
Let me ask you a question, Georgie. How many years did you do?
32 plus years.
32 plus years. How the hell? We have another gentleman that in the neighborhood did another 30-something. We know who that is.
Yeah.
Mr. Giannolini, and he's hanging in there at 80-something years old. How do you get by 32 years?
You just do it. You do it. I did a lot of writing. I was a teacher. I was a mentor, I was an author. You just keep mentally and physically busy and hope one day no one wrote more appeals than me. I did 32 appeals. Right. I fought tooth and nail. But like I said, you all see it in my movies. You don't get a movie deal unless your stories are interesting.
Right. No, I think
my stories are true and extremely interesting. You don't get a movie deal.
And I would hear, and would you agree that your sentence was unfair?
They wanted me to talk on my father. I'm not going to talk on my father, although there's been cases where families have went against each other, but I'd rather be dead. That's not going to happen with me. I'm just happy to be out, alive and doing good. And like I said, the more I do, the more jobs I create. That's what America needs. Between now and what I do across the country, I got about 40 people working for me, so I'm proud of that. Especially young people,
Let me ask you this. Where did you serve all 30? Did they move you around? Tell us
the first 5 years were in solitary.
Now, before you go any farther, we see Sammy the Ball, we hear a story, we hear about the whole. I'm sitting down with a guy who did 32 years and did in solitary. Explain to me what that is.
Not nice.
Not nice.
Not nice. When you have life, no parole, they have to put you in the worst places, worst maximum security places. Actually, put me in what you call boxcar cells, which are illegal. They're double steel doors, no window, nothing. It's like being in a tomb. And one experience I had, almost lost my mind. No bulb. The light bulb went out and they wouldn't give me light bulbs. I was basically kept in the dark.
In the dark.
For 2 weeks. And that's the most terrifying thing you can put an individual. Put them in the dark.
Wow.
Very difficult. Very difficult.
So where was your first 5 years? What state? Where was that at?
Wow, they kept moving me around because it's when you're sentenced to life, no parole, that's the maximum most punishment other than getting the death penalty.
Right.
So now you gave me that sentence. Now you want to keep me in solitary? That's cruel and unusual punishment. It's the only way they got away with it. They used to move me every 3-4 months, move me.
And so where do you go? Which state? So where do you
All
go?
different. Feds are all over. They're all over. The federal prison, but that's not the worst. It's the contract prisons that they work with.
Okay.
They're bad old prisons, especially in the South.
All right. Now, do you know the date you were pinched or were you actually coming?
I know it's 1983, September 19th.
September 1998.
There was a mob boss friend of mine, Jerry Angela. He passed away. He was the boss of Boston, one of the wealthiest mob guys ever. And he got locked up on that day on his yacht, his huge yacht, right?
Right.
I get locked up in a bathing suit. I made Dan Rather. He didn't make Dan Rather. I made Dan Rather.
Now,
anyway,
what was the charges? What were actually the charges?
Well, what kept me in was the marijuana charge. They kept me in the CCE marijuana charge. That's I did 32 years for that.
Well, you had you as like a lord, a marijuana kingpin lord.
Yeah, but it's my kid. There's only 2 cases in the history of America where they gave you the drugs, you sold the drugs, and kept you the money. They gave us 2,600 pounds of weed.
Right.
Which is nothing. They smoked that in an hour in America today, and they let us keep the money, which was a bit of good money. And the other case was Freeway Ricky Ross out of L.A. They gave him the drugs to sell. He was actually the CIA gave him the drugs. So there was only the 2 cases. When they give you the drugs, and I wasn't even present. I never got caught with anything in my life. I never even had a parking ticket. But anyway, when the law is, when they give you the drugs, they got to arrest you when you get 2 feet away. You know what I mean? They let us sell it. So
you lived an extraordinary life.
All extraordinary.
Well, you held up pretty good. I got to tell you. At 72, you look good.
Well, like I said, the movie's going to be interesting. I think the whole world is going to really like it. I think it'll live in infamy. The stories are unbelievable. Not only my story, I have stories, I was out of the country, South America, Mexico, Jamaica. They're great, colorful stories. You got everything. You got the prison stories, which are unbound. You got the street stories, So it's going to be a very interesting project, very interesting.
All right.
Anyway, it was a pleasure talking to everybody.
What do you got here? Show, what do you got?
A pair of sneakers.
Where'd you get them? They're nice.
Yeah, a pair of sneakers.
What are they?
I still run. I've been running since I'm 17. I don't miss a day. I run 7 days a week.
And I did a lot of running and walking. I need 2 knee replacements.
Yeah, but thank
your
God.
Thank God I'm
thank God I'm blessed. Good knees, good ankles. Thank God.
That's what I tell people. People say, Sugar, you play baseball your life, you play sports all your life. I say, no, that's not it. That's not it. Why does one guy like you have been running all his life, and another guy runs all his life? He needs knee replacements, but you don't.
Just blessed.
It's genetics.
It's
genetics. It's the genetics. Why does one NBA guy play 15 years in the NBA, running up and down the court, and another guy does? He needs the knee replacement, but the other guy doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm
blessed. Thank God.
You're blessed. You're blessed.
Anyway,
George,
nice talking to you. We'll do it again.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sugar Bear, right?
Sugar Bear. Albert Sugar Bear Barbieri. Number 8 in your scorecard, number 1 in your heart.
Yeah, well, I'm always at the saloon. You want to have a drink? I'm always at the saloon. Yeah. Just go there and say, "Where's George?"
I know. You're over there.
Take care, everybody.
All right, Joe. Good seeing you, buddy.
All right.